Hello, everyone, and welcome to the St. Francis Prep Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you all here. We have 6 wonderful institutions in this session here to share a little bit more about what each of them do. My name is Isabella. I'll be your facilitator for this evening. Just a quick note that your camera and microphone are off, and they will remain off throughout the full session. The panelists cannot see or hear you. But we do want you to be able to still ask your questions and interact with our college representatives today. And the way you can do that is through the Q&A that you see in your Zoom toolbar. So feel free to ask those questions throughout the session. There's no need to save them until the end. We definitely want to see those questions coming in throughout our session this evening. There are 2 more hours of sessions after this one concludes, so feel free to check those out and register if you haven't already. And then a quick note that this session is being recorded and that the recording will be available at strivescan.com/SFP in the next few days if you need to return to any of this information. And so with that, I'll go ahead and pass it off to our first presenter, which is Hofstra University.
Thank you so much, Isabella. Hi, folks. Super excited to share some information with you today about Hofstra, who we are, and all sorts of awesome pieces along those lines. Hopefully you all could see my screen here that offers you that welcome to Hofstra sign. So let me give you some information about Hofstra if you are not familiar with who we are. Hofstra University is located 25 miles east of New York City. So if you want to put it in comparison to about where we're located in comparison to St. Francis Prep, we're about 15, maybe 20 minutes away. So not too far, but also close enough that you can get home, not close enough that you can feel like you're further away from home. The Long Island Railroad, really close to our campus community. So you can really get to where you need to go, all those different pieces, while still utilizing our shuttle service to take you to and from the local Long Island Railroad station. So the close proximity to New York City is something we capitalize on here at Hofstra for internships, job opportunities inside and outside the classroom, and all sorts of other awesome pieces like that as well. Let me tell you a little bit about our campus community and who we are. About 6,100 undergraduate students, about 3,500 graduate doctoral students, classifies us right in the middle of medium-sized institutions. About 165 different majors to choose from, which you'll see on the next slide very briefly. 21 students on average in a class, and a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you think about our campus size, 244 acres of campus size, but it's a small campus feel. So professors really get to know you, you really get to know them. That helps a lot with all the opportunities both inside the classroom and outside the classroom as well. When you think about diversity, students from 48 states and upwards of 70 countries, so coming from all over. So you're going to meet someone in your class that's from here on Long Island, from Queens, from Brooklyn, from Manhattan, from Wisconsin, from Idaho, from California, from Hawaii, from the other side of the world. So that's something we pride ourselves on as well, our campus community and the diversity among our campus community folks as well. Quick brief slide about our majors. These are many of the majors we offer here at Hofstra. Again, 165 different ones to choose from. At the bottom, you'll see hofstra.edu/majors. We'll give you the opportunity to be able to see all the majors that we offer if you want a little bit more information in the focus area of what those are. Popular ones we see many students applying to: biochemistry, chemistry, amongst all of our medical school related items. So medical school, PA school, our brand new for last year, 2021 BS nursing program. So BSN program. Education, communications, business, engineering, psychology, and so much more. So many different options for you to choose from. Let's talk a little bit about the experiential learning opportunities. 71% of our students participating in some form of internship while they're with us here at Hofstra. So many things to choose from, many things to get involved in. We want you to get that hands-on learning and hands-on experience because it's important for you to see that, feel that, touch it, and actually experience it outside of the classroom. Classroom information is important, but outside the classroom, that experiential piece is something we capitalize and we find very important, especially because you get those opportunities to really get to know who we are and what opportunities are available outside the classroom. A little bit about our campus community as a whole again as well. 220 student clubs and organizations to get involved in. So you name it, we probably have it. I always point out our Quidditch club because I find that kind of cool. No flying brooms, but a lot of cool things that you can do for sure. Our students are really involved in community service. Last year, doing over 100,000 hours of community service. We are a Division I institution, 21 Division I sports teams. So many things to get involved in and really cheer on our Hofstra pride. We do guarantee housing for all 4 years. You're all super close, but if you are interested in living on campus, it is there for you. Something unique, suite style housing as well. So if you want to live in a suite style house, so that's 2 rooms, 4 roommates in total, a common area space, and a restroom all behind closed doors. Study abroad opportunities, some of the places we've gone in the past: Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Egypt, France, Japan, China, Spain, Norway, Italy, Greece, and the Galapagos Islands, just to name a couple of those folks as well. Let's talk a little bit about the application process. So when you're looking at the application process overall, we are an early action institution. Early action, as a reminder piece, is non-binding. If you apply by an early date, you hear from us by an early date. So our early action 1 deadline, November 15th. You apply by November 15th. You'll hear from us by December 15th. If that's too early, that's all right. We understand that. Early action 2, December 15th. You hear from us by January 15th. And then after that, we become a rolling admission institution. As a big reminder, that big orange box in the left-hand corner you see, we are a test optional institution, been test optional for quite some time now. If you're mid-range of your scores fall into what you're seeing in the blue box to your right. So between 1140 and 1330 on the SATs, 25 and 32 on the ACTs. You should definitely consider submitting your SAT or ACT scores. In regards to GPA, about a 3.7 is what the average is, not a requirement, just an average. So if you took everyone that applied last year, averaged it out, that's what it came to. So definitely something you want to be mindful about that as well. In regards to applying, Common App, Hofstra application, either one of them, we don't have a preference over one or the other. We are a very holistic review process when reviewing applications. So that's GPA, trending grades, what you've taken in comparison to what's offered at your school, your essays, your letters of recommendation. We don't require, but we strongly request a resume or activity sheet letting us know what you're involved in outside of the classroom. So important things. When you're looking at scholarships, we are a merit-based scholarship institution. So that takes into account GPA, trending grades, what you've taken in comparison to what's offered at your school, and those SAT or ACT scores if you are going to turn them in. So super duper important just to be mindful about those pieces. So what are some of the next things you should consider? Coming out to visit, super duper important. We have virtual opportunities, we have opportunities in person. We have opportunities for me to visit your school in person as well. So I will be there smiling. So feel free to come on down and visit with me at the lunchroom. But that is definitely important. Applying online, hofstra.edu/apply. A lot of social media opportunities as well. And last but not least, my contact information. You want to take a quick snap of this, feel free to do so. I will also place it in the chat for you. But other than that, I am going to turn it back over to our friends over at StriveScan and off to our next school. So thanks, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brian, for sharing a little bit about Hofstra University. Next up, we have Worcester Polytechnic Institute.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining tonight. My name is Julie Lovelace. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I work at Worcester Polytechnic Institute. We just call it WPI for short, a little bit easier to say. Our university is exclusively focused on science, technology, engineering, math, and business. We offer 50 different degree programs. 12 of them are engineering majors. We have all of the basics like mechanical, civil, electrical, and chemical engineering, as well as some specialty programs like robotics engineering. We offer great majors in computer science, video game design, biology, chemistry, physics, math, business, all that good stuff. But the majority of our applicants know that they like STEM and they're headed in that direction. There's a lot of opportunity to customize your degree at WPI, whether that's a double major, a minor, a double minor, or potentially even starting to work on your master's degree while you're still an undergraduate student. And the other numbers on the slide tell you a little bit about our size and the diversity on our campus in terms of the number of women, underrepresented, and international students at WPI. So we are located in Worcester, Massachusetts. We are about 3 hours north of New York City and an hour west of the city of Boston. Worcester's a pretty big city. There's about 200,000 people in the city of Worcester, a lot of colleges, a lot of college students in the Worcester area. And good transportation options. The train runs to Boston 20 times a day. The bus service runs to New York City 7 or 8 times a day. So really easy access to both places. The thing that I want to highlight for you all tonight is about our project-based opportunities. Being a STEM-focused university, we really emphasize hands-on learning, and our motto is theory and practice. And that means you'll be taking classes at WPI, but you'll also be working out in the field on a regular basis. We have projects built into almost every class that you take at the university, and there's 4 large-scale projects that you'll do during your time at WPI. The first is the Great Problem Seminar. In your first year at the university, you and a group of students will focus on one of the world's big problems. So maybe that is marine pollution, or maybe it's livable cities, or maybe it's clean energy. You'll look at the problem, you'll see how we've tried to solve it, what's been effective and what has not. And then you and a group of students will try to solve it. So we don't expect our first year students to solve the energy crisis, but maybe you're going to redesign a wind turbine blade. You're not going to solve the hunger crisis, but maybe you're going to create a composting program that can be implemented in a local high school. Even though all of our students major in STEM, we also have a humanities and arts requirement, and that is a series of 5 classes. You choose your humanities classes, whatever you're interested in: music, theater, English, history, Spanish, Arabic, the list goes on. You take 5 classes in any humanities subjects, and then you do a project as your 6th or final capstone to your humanities experience. So maybe you redesign the music that goes along to your favorite video game. Maybe you write a computer program that can generate poetry. It's a way to kind of combine your STEM and your humanities interests. We also do the IQP and the MQP in your junior year and then your senior year. The IQP is interactive. That means you're going to be working with students from all different majors. And the MQP is going to be major specific, meaning you're going to work with students from your own major. And the great thing about these projects is that you can do them all around the world. This is a pretty unique feature of WPI because we do not do traditional study abroad. Instead, we send our students off campus and overseas to do projects in other countries. It's kind of like an internship. You'll travel with a group of WPI students and you'll work on a problem that's specific to the community that you're living in. So if you went to Costa Rica, maybe you're going to work with local fishermen on sustainable fishing opportunities. If you go to Australia, maybe you'll work on wildfire prevention for deaf or hard of hearing communities. It's an interesting way to see another part of the world. And everybody at WPI gets a global scholarship to be able to make that happen. We do all of the projects so that our students can get good jobs after graduation. They are really successful, earning an average of $73,000 a year. And we have a great career development center that will put on different programming and workshops to help you find those career opportunities. And then I'll just wrap things up here with, again, opportunities to visit. We are open for in-person visits, and you can also visit our campus virtually. The website is there, and my email is on that slide as well, jloveless@wpi.edu.
Great. Thank you so much, Julie, for sharing a little bit more about WPI. Next up, we have none other than, please forgive me, we have Simmons University. Sorry for the pause. Simmons, so excited. We'll pass things off to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to get to know us and learn more about these schools. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right. So for those of you who aren't as familiar with Simmons, we are a women-centered institution located in the Fenway area of Boston. Our mission is to expand opportunities for women through an education that combines intellectual leadership and professional preparation. Here are some statistics of Simmons. Our undergraduate student population is just under 1,800. We have actually 225 full-time faculty, so that number has increased, and 74% of whom are actually women. This representation is actually really important to us because students get to learn and work with women who have a lot of experience in the fields they wish to pursue professionally, so students can ask very candid questions about, what are the challenges of being a woman in a male-dominated field? And in turn, your professors will be very candid with you about what those challenges are and how they navigate them. Our average class size is about 15, and we have an 8:1 student to faculty ratio. We do have average test scores on the screen, but we are really excited to announce that for the next 5 years at least, we are test optional, and we're hoping to make that permanent, just because we don't think that test scores are an accurate reflection of a student's academic ability. Our average GPA is a 3.7, and that is weighted. For our nursing applicants, we are looking for a 3.8 weighted and a 3.5 unweighted for their math and science courses. And although we are a small community, we are part of a larger campus community, being one of the 5 colleges of the Fenway. The other 4 include Emmanuel College, MCPHS, Mass Art, and one more Institute of Technology. And so if you're able to actually take classes there, you can, and earn credit. You can also just expand your network and meet new people by going to these campuses and participating in their clubs and activities. Here is a small map of Boston. I'm sorry, but it's a little hard to see. We are in the Longwood medical area, and this is where a lot of our students do their internships and research. And we are close to a lot of hospitals such as Beth Israel, Children's Hospital, and Brigham and Women's. We are also very close to the Fenway Parks. If you're wanting to go and see a ball game, you can actually go with friends or go to the Museum of Fine Arts or the Isabel Stewart Gardner Museum. A lot of the places in Boston are actually free for admission for students, or not, if not at a discounted rate. And if you wanted to get away from the Fenway area, you can actually take a T or a bus with your friends and go to other parts of Boston just to explore a little bit of the city. Here are a list of majors, minors, and accelerated programs. The accelerated programs are really great because students get to earn their bachelor's degree and their graduate degree in fewer years than what is typical of other students. If you don't see a major that you like here, you can actually create your own or major in something or participate in a program at the other 5 colleges of the Fenway. If you're not sure what you want to major in, you can actually wait until before you earn 80 credits to declare. And just to give you a perspective, students typically take 4 courses every semester, and each course is about 4 credits. 100% of our students participate in internships, research, and clinicals. The girl on the left and on the top, they actually worked for Puma, evidently met some really cool people and currently found full-time employment there. And the girl on the right, she worked for Nickelodeon for her internship and is now a writer for SpongeBob. And that's really amazing for her, and she really enjoyed the time there. So a lot of our students actually, after completing their internships, they find full-time employment at the actual organization or institution that they worked for. The bottom picture is our sim lab for our nursing students. You get to participate in classes and in a classroom with avatars, where the avatars you can draw blood from, calculate heart rates, and basically practice everyday scenarios without actually jeopardizing someone's life. So it's really great practice. In terms of our application process, we are on a common app. We need your high school transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation. Like I said, test scores are optional, and so are interviews. You can opt in to interview with us in person or virtually, and we want your college essay. And these are some of our important deadlines. Early action 1 is November 1st, and so is our nursing deadline. Early action 2, December 1st, and regular decision is February 1st. So if you want a little bit extra time to enjoy your holiday and your new year, you can do so, and you have a little bit of time to kind of get those documents together in order to apply. Our Cotton Scholarship is one of our most popular. It is a full ride scholarship, full room and board, full tuition, and an extra $3,000 for students to use on whatever they want. So some students have used it on books, some students have used it on work clothes, interview clothes, and then other deadlines are February 1st for honors program and the 3+1 programs. And then you can make it official by May 1st. And then all applicants are automatically reviewed for merit scholarships. And that is it. I'll pass it back to Isabel.
Thanks, Victoria. Before we head over to our next institution, I do want to take a quick moment to plug that Q&A once again. So if you have any questions about any of the institutions you've already heard from, or any of the ones that you're about to hear from, don't forget that you can send those at any point throughout the session via that Q&A. But from here, I'll pass things over to Vaughn College of Aeronautics and Technology.
Thank you so much. All right. Hi, guys. My name is Lisa Limbach. I'm the Director of Admissions at Wang College of Aeronautics and Technology. So Vaughn College is a small, not-for-profit private institute located outside of LaGuardia Airport, actually right across the Grand Central Parkway, right in Flushing, Queens. We only offer programs in engineering, technology, management, aviation. So we are very specialized. We only have about 1,200 students in total, so we're very small, and small class sizes is about 14 students to one professor in each class. So that gives you a one-on-one attention that you need in the classroom. If you ever have any questions, your professor knows you by face and name, rather than being in a large lecture hall with 100 students. So you do get that more interpersonal, family-oriented feel at the college. And 99% of our graduates get jobs within their field of study or continue their education. 89% of them do get a job within their field of study. So we do have a high success rate for our graduate students. So they work in companies like Lockheed Martin, Cummins, SpaceX, Tesla, you name it. So we definitely have a lot of graduates that are able to work for these big major dream companies that you guys are probably looking at right now. So on to the specific majors that we have. So again, we are very specialized. We do have a smaller list of majors compared to the other colleges and universities that are presenting today. So for our engineering technology programs, we have mechanical engineering technology. You can have a focus in aeronautics or do traditional regular mechanical engineering technology. And aeronautics allows you to be a manufacturer, designer for planes or spacecrafts. We have electronics engineering technology. You could have a focus in avionics, which is electronics for aircraft. So you could just do general electronics. We have an animation and digital technologies program. We have it for associate's degree only. And those are for students who are looking to do graphic designing, 3D design, like video games and media productions. And then we have traditional mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and we have something called mechatronic engineering. How I like to compare mechatronics is Megatron, right? Mechatronic engineering is basically robotics. It's a combination of mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering all in one. We're one of only 4 schools in the entire nation that has it accredited by ABET. So it's a really, really great program. For our aviation programs, we have a pilot program called Aircraft Operations, where you can actually learn to fly aircrafts and become a pilot. We have Aeronautical Sciences, which is an alternative program for those who want to become pilots but don't yet want to do their flight training with Vaughn. We have a program called Airframe and Powerplant Technology, which is a maintenance program for aviation. So you could learn how to become an aviation mechanic technician. And this is a very special program because it's very different from any other college program that's probably going to be presented today. It's all maintenance courses. It doesn't involve traditional college classes like English, math, science, just maintenance. So you're taking classes like hydraulics and pneumatics, aircraft structures, you take a welding class. So it's a very more hands-on type of a degree program. And then we have something called air traffic control. It's not a major. It is a program that you could take with a major. So if you are interested in becoming air traffic controller, if you guys don't know what it is, it's pretty much the people that are in the towers at the airports and telling, the pilots when to take off, when to land, where to go. They pretty much control all the traffic in the air. And then we have management, general management, airport management, and airline management. So when you think of airport and airline management, I want you guys to think of running your own city, like being a mayor of your own city. That's what it's like to run your own airport, right? There's hospitality and tourism, there's security. For instance, LaGuardia has its own police force and its own firemen. So it's definitely like running your own mini city. All right, student life. So we do offer the academic programs and majors that you like, but what about what's going on campus? 90% of our students do commute, so we are a high commuting school. However, we do have on-campus living. We have a residence hall, which is set up like a suite style. So very different from a traditional dormitory. There's 2 bedrooms to a suite, a common area, a walk-in closet, and your own bathroom. So it's very different from a regular dormitory, which is just a giant room and then you share a community bathroom. We also have other facilities on campus for students, like a fitness center. We have a view tower that kind of looks like an air traffic control tower. And then we have the traditional libraries that have all the computer applications needed for classes. Oh, and we have flight simulators in the library too, which is pretty cool. And anybody can use those flight simulators. Oh, a couple more things about student life. We also have free tutoring sessions for students. We have an HEOP program called Higher Education Opportunity Program. It's for students who are academically, economically disadvantaged. So it helps students get additional financial aid for school as well as academic support. We also have sports. We have basketball, baseball, cross country, soccer, and tennis. We're not in the NCAA, but you can still play competitively if you wanted to. We have different organizations and clubs, extracurricular activities. So the big major organizations that we do have are the fraternities. We have Women in Aviation International, Engineers Without Borders, and a lot of these clubs and activities get supported by the college. So if your organization is doing an out-of-state trip, the college actually does help fund the traveling expenses such as hotels, the flights, your food. So the college does support the organization and clubs because that's a great way to add things to your resume. A lot of our graduates who do—
Hi, Lisa. I'm just
Mhm.
jumping in real quick. We do need to pass things off to the next institution if you'd like to share your contact info.
Oh, okay. So we just have our social media pages here. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And then I'll share my contact information with you guys in the chat if you want to and ask me the questions for my contact info.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about Vaughn College of Aeronautics and Technology. Next, we'll pass things over to Hartwick College.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a good time learning lots of things. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Let's see here. Alrighty, so I'm coming from Hartwick College. We're a small liberal arts college in upstate New York. We're in Oneonta, New York. So it's about 3 hours away from New York City. And our undergraduate population is only about 1,200 students. So you're definitely going to get that personalized, individualized education. Your professors are going to know you automatically right off the bat, whether you like it or not, but I think it's really great. It definitely creates a conducive learning environment. And all of our students will actually have a 4-person guidance team. So you're going to be lots of support, sort of firing on all cylinders. So that guidance team includes a student success coach, an academic advisor, an alumni mentor, and also a career coach. So all these people will have your back throughout your time at Hartwick, whether it be 3 years or 4 years. We do have a number of 3-year degree programs, though, if you want to get out in the world a little bit sooner or also save a chunk of money, which is always great. Our most popular majors on campus are probably nursing, psychology, business administration, biology, and also criminal justice. But we also offer some more unique programs like social work and museum studies. We have a museum right on campus that our students can take advantage of, and they get their hands dirty right in the storeroom there. And then also you can design your own major. And we are right down the street from SUNY Oneonta, so you can also pull classes from their course catalog too. So Hartwick students can take up to one class at SUNY Oneonta included in their tuition every single semester, which is really great. In addition to our main campus, we also have our environmental campus called Pine Lake. I've included some pictures here. It's very beautiful. It's about 8 miles away. So if you're ever looking for a more serene place to just hang out or live, this would be a great option for you. We also have an environment, sustainability, and society program if you really want to dive in and study. But it's a residential area. So if you'd like to live here, you can. If you want to live here your first year, you'd be placed in the lodge, which about half of those rooms have a gorgeous like view like this. So you can't really complain, which is great. And then also there's cabins that you can live in either by yourself or with roommates, sustainably built homes that were actually built a number of years ago by faculty and students. So just another example of, you know, ways that you can learn hands-on at Hartwick. And then there's lots that you can do here. So even if you don't live here, like I said, you can come hang out. There's a free shuttle that'll take you back and forth between main campus and here. So there's tons of hiking trails, which you can, you know, of course, hike on, but also go for trail runs and go mountain biking. There's also obviously a lake that you can swim in when it's nicer out, or there's boats that you can use. There's classrooms out here that professors will oftentimes take advantage of, especially for environmental classes, bio classes, ecology, all that stuff. There's also a climbing wall, high ropes course. A lot of times our different organizations and clubs, sports will come over, do the high ropes course as sort of a team bonding activity. Speaking of sports, we have 19 NCAA Division III sports for you to choose from, and what we're missing in varsity athletics for the most part is covered in club athletics. So things like water polo, rugby, cheer, dance, we all have clubs in, but there's also all sorts of clubs. There's cultural clubs, academic clubs, you know, so on and so forth. So there's plenty of ways to get involved. And then also just to chat about the application process. Our application process is really quite simple. All that we require is the application itself, you can use either the Common App, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with at this point, or the Hartwick Private App. We look at them exactly the same. So it's just personal preference and what is easiest for you. The Hartwick app is a little bit shorter. So if you're only applying to Hartwick or only applying to a couple of schools, that might save you some time, but I know lots of students are applying to a whole list of schools, so the Common App might save you time. And then also we require your high school transcript with at least your completed junior year grades. And then also college transcripts if you've done dual enrollment courses, or of course, if you're a transfer student. And then we are test optional unless you're applying to the nursing program, which we will be looking for some test scores. And then, you know, we recommend a little bit more, even though those things are all we require. Again, we take definitely a more holistic approach to reviewing applications. So I believe that you are way more than just the numbers on your transcript. So any opportunity for us to sort of learn about who you are and what your interests are really helpful. So things like a personal statement, letters of recommendation, resume activity sheet. And if you have test scores, I would recommend that you just submit them, even if they're not necessary. If you're a non-nursing major, we'll only use them to your advantage. We'll never use them against you. And we are rolling admissions. So you can apply as soon as you're eligible at any point now. So you could apply next week, you could apply next spring, and we'll get you a decision back in about 2 weeks or less. And yeah, I will include my contact information right in the chat. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Annie, for sharing a little bit more about all things Hartwick. And last but certainly not least for this session, we have NYIT.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's good and learning the college process. My name is Harsh Mehta. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions at New York Institute of Technology, or abbreviation of New York Tech. Just like how it's in our name, we are a technical school. So we are a tech school. So we're superly heavy on STEM. We aren't a liberal arts school. So there's some majors that you may be interested in that we unfortunately won't have at New York Tech, but there's always other majors that definitely do caveat or overlap one another. So first and foremost, I call this my fun fact sheet. We have 2 campuses. So we're located right in Midtown Manhattan by Columbus Circle, which is a 4-block radius built up. We have another campus that's in Long Island, which is in Old Westbury. So right where St. Francis Prep is, both of these campuses are about 15 miles away from each other. If you're going to go to Long Island, you probably won't hit so much traffic versus if you're going to New York City. We are a super small school, so something you'll constantly keep hearing about New York Tech is we're a hands-on institution. Everything you learn in the classroom, you do apply. And we have a mantra, which is do, make, innovate, reinvent the future, because we're always looking about current trends and seeing what's available in the world and always trying to grow. So our student to faculty ratio classes is about 11:1. We are a super small institution. So our undergrad body combined on both campuses is about 3,400 students. So you definitely have that interaction, that one-on-one, especially when it comes down to getting a networking opportunities. They're really heavy and strong. Something I love to talk about is diversity. We are #1 most diverse student body. So we have students all around the world and as well as 50 states. Our institution actually has represented all 50 states in America, as well as majority about 90 countries. And something else, lastly, before I go to the next slide, is about 4 out of 5 of our interns get employed. So employment is something very big, and it's something that we're very passionate about at New York Tech. And we allow students to start interning as early as their summer of their freshman year. So when I'm telling you about programs and stuff like that, or like programs that we may not have. So since we are a school of STEM based, we have 6 schools within New York Institute of Technology, over 90 programs. So we have something from graphic design all the way to architecture, as well as a fully functioning medical school as well. We still are test optional at the institution. We do require a high school transcript. Of course, it has to have your freshman all the way to junior year grades, as well as we do require students to have at least 4 years of math and science on their transcripts as well. So majority of our majors are available on both campuses. I'll talk about some majors that aren't, but when you're applying to New York Tech, you only need to submit in 1 application and you could choose the campus you'd like to apply to. If any of my students, or if anyone here that's looking for the field of medicine, we have majority everything under the sun when it comes down to medicine, and they're all combined. So these are specifically programs geared to students coming straight from high school to college. On the left side of the screen, these are all my combined programs. So anything that's life sciences, it does require an ACT or an SAT score. And of course, you need to have at least a 90 GPA, but in the chat box, I'm gonna put a link for our virtual brochure, which will give you more of a breakdown. Going to the right side of the screen, when we talk about accelerated success, these are 5-year programs. So it's 4 years undergrad, 1 year grad. So it's all about saving you time as well as money, as well as you get scholarships even when you're a grad student at New York Tech. So those are some things you're looking into. If any of you guys are interested in architecture, we definitely have combined programs for that. But one of our most popular majors is definitely, of course, is our College of Engineering and Computer Science, which all of our institutions at the school, all of them have the highest accreditation body. Along with that, we don't allow students to double major based on our curriculum. However, you of course could double minor, and those minors don't have to facilitate with your major. So there's minors a lot of our students take, they're available to here as well. So definitely don't let that be a discouragement about double majoring or stuff like that, but your minors don't have to pertain to your major. So a lot of our medical students sometimes take graphic design just to learn something cool. And talking about graphic design, something I love to always talk about here is that Pixar and DreamWorks originated out of NYIT. So anytime you see Toy Story or Moana or any of that, the founders of the founding fathers came out of NYIT. Moving along, all the fun stuff, which I always say studying, you always want to get involved, right? Getting involved is such a key part of your college experience. And just don't be that student like how I was, straight from home to school and school back home. Get involved. We have over 60 plus organizations and clubs on campus, both in our New York City as well as our Long Island. Majority of the clubs are available on both. There are times where the clubs are cross-correlating with each other. There's an event that's being hosted at the New York City campus as well as the Long Island campus. So although we are two campuses, we are one family. And let's say if there's a club here that you don't see that you're into, you're more than welcome to create it. I know some of our most popular clubs are, we have a robotics team. We also have an esports team. Our fraternity life and our Greek life is really strong at New York Tech. So definitely don't hesitate to get involved. It's also a good way to learn some leadership skills, as well as networking with students outside of your traditional typical major to build that robust environment for you. Second to last, this is probably where you might like, oh my God, your eyes may open up, I'm sure, because I've been talking a lot, but our tuition is about $38,000. We only have housing in our New York City campus, not at our Long Island campus. However, I do like to say that we are a private institution, so we do merit-based scholarships from $14,000 all the way up to $30,000 a year, and that stays with you all throughout your undergrad, so that will stay with you for 4 years. These scholarships are automatic, and they're given to you based on your GPA. And last but not least, stay connected with us, so you guys can take a screenshot of this. I'm as well in the chat. I'll put in my contact information or a virtual brochure, but definitely stay connected with New York Tech. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about New York Tech. At this point, we do have time for one question for our full group. So I'll invite each of our college representatives to rejoin us over video, and I'll pose a question to the full group. So we'll go ahead and have everyone answer in the order that you presented. But wait, the question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Thanks, Isabella. I would say a couple of, I'm going to do the 2 pieces of advice. So piece of advice number 1 is, it is stressful probably for you right now. It is September 29th. At this time next year, you won't even remember this is happening. So it is okay. Take a deep breath, relax, enjoy the process. Don't stress yourself out about the process. And I would say the piece of advice I have really more than anything else is visit the campuses of the colleges that you were interested in, because if you don't do that, you don't know how you feel about a fit unless you actually see it, feel it, touch it, and notice it yourself. So it's really, 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 really important. So don't stress and definitely take a visit. So those are my pieces of advice for sure.
I totally agree. And I am going to throw in there that I want you all to love every college that you apply to. You of course love your dream school, but I want you to love your safe options as well, because you never know where you're going to end up. But if you love all of them, you'll be happy no matter what.
Yeah, I third that. I mean, going to the campus is really important. That's how you envision yourself as a student. And a lot of colleges will be offering, open houses, accepted students day according to, your academic interests. And then I would also add that you should do your research on financial aid too, because sometimes sticker prices are really daunting and scary, but there are a lot of really great scholarships that you can apply to either at the institution-based or outside of the institution.
They covered a lot of stuff in their answers, but I would say just, make sure to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, even if it sounds silly to you, because we're all here just to help you with the application process. We're not here to judge you at all. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, I second pretty much everything that everyone else has said. I think the top most important thing is getting out there and getting on campus if you can. If campuses aren't too far away, you definitely get that gut feeling sometimes, like I belong here. It's kind of magical. But also get on, social media, follow schools on social media more often than not. You'll be able to see what a day in the life is like, or things that you wouldn't just find on a website. So definitely be sure that you're following all the schools that you're looking at on socials.
Perfect. It's hard to say what to say now with everyone getting all of it across, but I definitely agree with everyone. I piggyback on everyone's comment. It's great that we're in a virtual setting as well. So definitely sign up for virtual tours, virtual events. And if, like my colleague said, right, if the school's close to you, get onto their campus as well. And the best thing to do is also reach out to us. We're here for you. Don't feel shy. I know this session was brief with all of our schools, but there's so much more that we have to share and tell you. So definitely shoot us an email, copy and paste all of our contacts and reach out to us. Because sometimes the school that you don't expect to go to is a school that you end up going.
Absolutely. And thank you each for sharing a little piece of wisdom here as we conclude our session. So that is all for this session. We thank you so much for joining, and a huge thank you to our college representatives for joining as well. I do want to make a quick note that there's a very quick 5-question survey that will appear on your screen as this session concludes. If you don't mind filling that out, it's helpful for us as we continue to plan virtual college fairs and events like these. There is 2 more hours of sessions ahead, so feel free to check those out if you haven't already. And a reminder that this session was recorded, and the recording will be available in the next few days at strivescan.com/SFP. But thank you all once again. A big thank you to all of our college representatives. I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of their evening.
Thank you so much.